on them. And I thought you might be interested. What textbook was so dangerous and so outrageous that it needed a warning sticker? So I figured I'd bring you a picture. There it is. That's the book. And this is the warning sticker. And the warning sticker basically told students the book has material on evolution. Evolution is a theory, not a fact, on the origin of living things. This material should be approached with an open mind, studied carefully and critically considered. And when this sticker went on the book, I was called up by a reporter for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and she said, "What do you think of the sticker on your books?" And I had talked to enough reporters to realize that she was trolling for a quote. She wanted to write an article that said author outraged or author slams board or just something like that, so they could say that a northeastern liberal Ivy League author was outraged at what Cobb County was doing with his books. And I decided I'd have a little fun, and I said, "No, I like the sticker." She said, "You do?" I said, "I think the stickers are great. They just don't go far enough." And in just a second, I'll show you exactly what I mean. Now, as it turns out, our president has tried to be helpful on this particular point. And many of you may know that President Bush was asked about this, and he said, "I think students should be exposed to both sides of the issue," by which he meant evolution and also intelligent design. And Time magazine, when they wrote this up, absolutely incredibly, my co-author Joe Levine found this. They superimposed President Bush's face on our biology textbook, which has caused us absolutely no end of delight. And I keep suggesting to the publisher, maybe in the next edition, that's what we could use. But I have been asked about what I think about President Bush's opinion on this issue, and I think my response probably should be that I, like all other scientists and educators, are delighted that the president has taken an interest in science education. We hope he continues to be interested in it, and we also hope very much that President Bush will listen to his science advisor, John Marburger, who's a fine scientist, and was picked by President Bush to give him advice on science. He was asked by Russell Durbin from Ohio State University what he thought about evolution, and Dr. Marburger said evolution is the cornerstone of modern biology, and he pointed out an awful lot of work that we do at NIH depends upon evolution, and then he was very quick to say that President Bush has supported large increases for NIH funding. And he was also asked at the National Association of Science Writers, he said, "Look, intelligent design is not a scientific theory," and as if to ram the point home, he continued, "I don't regard intelligent design as a scientific topic." And again, I think if the president listens to his science advisor, he'll be in very good shape. What about those warning stickers, the ones that I liked so much? One of my former students, Colin Purrington, who's now at Swarthmore College, was so taken by this wonderful idea of warning stickers that Colin figured, why stop with biology books? We could go a little bit further than that. Here, for example, is one that we might use on an earth science book, pointing out that a lot of people think that the Earth couldn't possibly be 4 billion years old. You ought to be careful about that. And why stop with earth science? We could go on to geography. The Earth is round. About that when you think about the approach of gravity. But what happened in Georgia was that a group of 6 parents recognized that these stickers were, in fact, an attempt to promote a particular religious point of view. And they filed a lawsuit in federal court. The lead plaintiff was a guy named Jeff Selman. Jeff is the little guy here, being lectured by a Board of Education. 6 parents recognized that these stickers were, in fact, an attempt to promote a particular religious point of view. And they filed a lawsuit in federal court. The lead plaintiff was a guy named Jeff Selman. Jeff is the little guy here, being lectured by a Board of Education member in this picture. Jeff was able to prevail in federal court, and the court basically asked that these stickers, ordered that these stickers be taken out. This is Jeff and his attorney very happy afterwards. Because I had testified in the trial, the Associated Press asked me for comments afterwards, and like a fool, I answered my phone and I gave them some comments, and as a result, my name was in the first sentence of the story on this that appeared in about 1,100 newspapers. The next morning, I got more "you're gonna burn in hell" email than you can possibly imagine from all over the country. But I have to say that it was far outweighed by a lot of congratulatory email as well. So let me get back to this case and to the sticker in particular. I said I like this sticker, and I do in a sense. It just doesn't go far enough. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, yes, the book does have material on evolution, but a biology book has material on a lot of topics. Why single out evolution? Evolution is a theory? It certainly is. We actually have a chapter entitled Evolutionary Theory, so I agree it's a theory. But when you say it's a theory, not a fact, it makes it sound like theories and facts are opposite things, as if we're really sure of facts and we're not so sure of theories. In fact, theory in science is a higher level of understanding than facts, because what theories do is they explain facts, they unite them. And I pointed out to this reporter, if you went to the University of Georgia and you studied atomic physics, you would take a course in atomic theory. There's no time in the future when the professor is going to change the name of that course to atomic fact, because that's not what atomic theory is about. Atomic theory is a system of explanations that explains thousands, tens of thousands of facts about the nature of matter. And that's what evolutionary theory is like too. But when you get right down to it, the sentence that bothered me the most is actually the third one. And the reporter said, what do you mean? You don't like open-mindedness or critical? I said, no, that's not it at all. Do you know what that third sentence says to a 14-year-old? That third sentence says, we are certain of every single thing in this book except evolution. So apparently you don't need an open mind to study biochemistry. We don't have to critically consider ecology or cell biology or human physiology. And in reality, if I got a chance to rewrite the sticker, I'd rewrite it like this. This textbook has material on science. Science is built around theories which are strongly supported by factual evidence. Everything in science should be approached with an open mind, studied carefully and critically considered. That's the appropriate emphasis, and that's the sticker that I'd like to see. Bottom line, singling out evolution or any subject for special treatment is very bad science education and also is legally dangerous. And the reason it's legally dangerous is because it naturally leads one to say, why? Why are you singling out one topic for special consideration? And if that reason turns out to be constitutionally prohibited, you might be in difficult straits. We'll talk more about that in a second. Now, you all know this didn't end down in Georgia. The next migration of this controversy was to Dover, Pennsylvania, where the Board of Education, a little more than a year ago, decided that they would like to teach something called intelligent design. They ordered their biology teachers to prepare an intelligent design curriculum. The teachers refused, and they cited a provision of the Pennsylvania Teacher Code of Ethics in which the teachers had to promise in that state that they would never knowingly present false information to a student. And they told their superintendent, this is false information. We can't violate our oaths. What the board then did was to order its superintendent and assistant superintendent to go into classes and to read a 1-minute statement about intelligent design to students. That led a number of parents to complain about this, and before long there was a federal lawsuit. That lawsuit was tried this fall from September to late October. There were a number of people on both sides of the issue. This is Robert Pennock, who's a philosopher of science from Michigan State, and I was honored by being the lead witness for the plaintiffs in the case. I spent about a day and a half on the stand. I had a very good time. Then, as you all know, the trial eventually was decided. Now, there's a couple of funny things I have to tell you about this. I didn't expect my cross-examination to go on for 2 days, and I expected to be back at Brown on Tuesday to teach a class. When I realized I couldn't, I had to do something I've never done in 26 years of college teaching, and that was to cancel a lecture class. So I got in touch with my TAs, and I said, I got to cancel a class on Tuesday. Here's why. They said, okay. And then I put a link to the article in Science about the trial on my course's website, so the students would know I was not off, skiing or something like that. And they thought that was okay. Then I put a link into the New York Times, and I guess they thought that okay. But I weren't particularly impressed. What impressed the kids in my class was that week there was a report on the trial in what is, for college students in the United States, the ultimate news source. And I'm sure all the college students in this room know exactly what I'm talking about. And that was the Daily Show by Jon Stewart. And when Jon Stewart talked about the trial in Dover, that was the point at which the students, I decided I was really doing something useful. Because if the Daily Show is talking about it, then it's happening. I'm sure many of you may know that the Dover voters, in one sense or another, took care of this themselves. Democracy works. And before the court case was decided, they voted the entire Board of Education. All 8 members up for re-election were voted.